This is exactly the spark the Brewers needed. Milwaukee's offense totaled 13 runs last night in the 13-2 victory over the Arizona Diamondbacks. Many young bats, including Garrett Mitchell and Tyler Black, started a show out for Milwaukee in American Family Field. I welcome you in to another episode of Brewers Digest. I am your host, Taylor Bretl, and I got you covered on everything you need to know about the Milwaukee Brewers, including a 13-2 victory over the Arizona Diamondbacks last night, which extends the Brewers' winning streak to 2 games. But hey, we're going to take any celebration we can get, hoping for a third straight game tonight. Again, the Brewers offense, 13 runs in that contest, but they got off to a little bit of a slow start. The first run was scored on a home run from Sal Frelick, and that was his second home run of the season, which he talked about in his post-game press conference. Pat Murphy kind of joked about it as well as a finally for the Milwaukee Brewers, because the Milwaukee Brewers and home runs have not really been best friends as of recent. This is a tweet here from Lily Zhao on X saying, Sal Frelick's home run in the second inning ends a 7-game streak of games with no home runs for the Brewers. So again, you're missing Yelich, you're missing Chourio, you're missing Vaughn, who are all home run hitters. To note, Chourio and Vaughn should be back come May 4th, but you have been missing those guys for all or most of the season. So the home run numbers are going to be down. And then guys like Gary Sanchez, who aren't in there all the time, who are more of your power hitters, he's only really in there if Contreras needs a break at catching duty. So you have arguably 4 of your most powerful bats outside of Jake Bauers not playing all at once as of recent. So Milwaukee's power numbers are way down, but they're still finding ways to win, because that's what Pat Murphy baseball is all about, baby. I mean, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. You really can't. That's what Pat Murphy baseball is all about. And I want to pull that up right here. This is a funny conversation between Adam McCalvy and Sophia Minnaert on X, really talking about this Pat Murphy baseball. I'm actually going to bring that up on the big screen for you guys to read. So Adam McCalvy wrote right here saying, this may be the Brewers-iest inning of the whole season. It's 9-2. I think I'm saying that right, but I think you kind of get the spiel, saying this offense is looking how the Milwaukee Brewers tend to look. Sophia Minnaert responded to it saying how they looked with 13 batters. There was 8 hits, 1 walk, 1 catcher's interference. So breaking down that 6th inning, here is how it went. Andrew Hoffman came in to replace Merrill Kelly to start that inning, and it all unfolded from there. Sal Frelick singled, David Hamilton singled, and Ortiz singled. Bases loaded, no outs. Garrett Mitchell then had an RBI single, followed by Contreras with a 2 RBI single. Terang then walked. Tyler Black had an RBI single. Jake Bauers had an RBI single, all before the first out, which was Brandon Lockridge popping out. But after that, that catcher's interference you see there that Sophia Minnaert attended to, that occurred to Sal Frelick. Following that, David Hamilton, a 2 RBI ground rule double that just missed going out of the park. Then the Diamondbacks finally say, all right, this is enough with Andrew Hoffman. Let's take him out. They put in Ryan Thompson, and then the bleeding stops from there. The next 2 batters for the Milwaukee Brewers get out. It was Ortiz striking out and Mitchell popping out. But man, an 8-run inning, absolutely incredible. Something that I personally love to see. I assume you guys personally love to see it as well. But even though Ortiz was one of those 2 outs to conclude it between him and Mitchell, I do want to talk a lot about Joey Ortiz, because he had a mini breakout game. He still has been struggling a lot for Milwaukee this season, but you got to take the mini celebrations when you can. Joey Ortiz is still batting 200 this season for the Milwaukee Brewers, but he did go 2 for 4 with 2 RBI in last night's contest. And actually, those 2 runs batted in were the second and third runs of the contest for Milwaukee. So those are the next 2 runs scored after that Sal Frelick homer. And Ortiz is contributing still, again, only batting 200, but something that I do want to note, to give him credit for, he is 7 of 19 with runners in scoring position this season, which you would probably not guess, because we have the classic, oh, Joey Ortiz is up with bases loaded. He's probably not getting a hit here. Joey Ortiz, usually batting that 9 spot for the Milwaukee Brewers, has lots of chances, but with runners in scoring position, just as that stat in general, he is 7 for 19. So really like to see, even though he's batting 200, even though, the numbers are a little bit low, Joey Ortiz is still able to contribute to Pat Murphy's offense, hoping that he can bump it up just a little bit, because, man, that glove is so good out of the hand of Joey Ortiz, but he just has not been able to get it going offensively. So hopefully last night's win can really spark and turn that around. But Joey Ortiz isn't the only young bat that I want to look at for the Milwaukee Brewers. I also really want to take a look at Garrett Mitchell and see what he's been doing, because he's been having a strong start to the season. So let's take a look back at last season. This is his stat savant right here, and you don't see much red, right? He's not really qualified for many of these stats because he got hurt as he's been dealing with time and time again in his MLB career. But you look at this, not much red. The bat speed's quick. The chase rate isn't the worst. And that's about all the red that you get in the hitting department. You kind of have it a little bit above halfway for the average exit velocity. But the rest of that, not really exciting numbers, exciting metrics to look at when you're looking at Garrett Mitchell as a hitter. But hey, let's swing it on to 2026. And how about that? That's a lot of red right there. Garrett Mitchell this season for the Milwaukee Brewers has seemed to figure it out. Something that I really want to note amongst of all of this red, I want to note his walk percentage. I mean, he is near the 100th percentile in drawing walks, hence why he got leadoff duties in last night's contest against Arizona. Garrett Mitchell's only batting .236 this season, but he has a .396 on-base percentage. So Garrett Mitchell getting on base nearly 40% of the time, rather I should say a near 400 on-base percentage with the Milwaukee Brewers, hence why Pat Murphy gave him the nod to be the leadoff hitter. So lots of excitement there for Garrett Mitchell. There's lots of excitement in these young Milwaukee bats, and I know that some guys are going to have to get back down to the minor leagues. You're going to have Chourio coming back. You're going to have Vaughn coming back. But you do have to clap it up and appreciate the guys that have filled in the meantime. Even Tyler Black, a career-high 3-hit night last night. He started out 0 for 2 and then went 3 for 3 the rest of the way. He also had an RBI himself. He's kind of hoping to fit in a little bit. But once Andrew Vaughn comes back, it's likely that Tyler Black will be sent down because the first base duties usually split between Vaughn and Bowers. Gary Sanchez has got a little bit of time in there, but that was before Tyler Black got called up. So it'll be unfortunate if Black has to get sent down because he's another guy that time and time again seems to just not have it figured out yet at the major league level. Now it's kind of seeming so. Over his last 2 games, he is 5 for 10, hoping that he can contribute even more tonight in some at-bats that we may see at American Family Field. But once Andrew Vaughn's back, Tyler Black may be sent back down to Nashville. But these young bats have been very strong from the Milwaukee Brewers in what has been a little bit of a shaky start to the season, but it could definitely be worse. So you got to give credit where credit is due. But we got to look at who is Milwaukee facing tonight in this contest, and it is going to be Eduardo Rodriguez, arguably one of the best arms on this Arizona Diamondbacks staff. Let's take a look into his game log this season. So Eduardo Rodriguez came over from the Detroit Tigers and is now with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And his game log, it is kind of funny to look at. It's kind of the way I want to put it. His first start of the season was in LA against the Dodgers. He threw 5 scoreless innings, or he did allow 1 run, but none of them were against him. 0 earned runs, and he only allowed 4 hits and walked 2 batters. You then go to his next start against an Atlanta Braves team that's off to their best start since the year 2000. And he pitched 7 innings in that one, allowing no runs or earned runs, and only 4 hits and 1 walk. Then you go to the New York Mets for a Mets team that, especially at that time and place, were kind of struggling. He was able to pitch 6 innings and allow just 1 run. But then you go to his last 2 games, at Baltimore and at home against the Chicago White Sox. Baltimore, he pitched 5 innings and allowed 4 earned runs. And Chicago White Sox, same right there, 6 hits, 4 earned runs through 5 innings. Kind of a copy-paste type outing right there. And the reason that I say it's funny is just because it's the Orioles and it's the White Sox compared to the Dodgers and the Braves. You would assume if you saw those stat lines, the numbers where he struggled a little more were against the Dodgers and the Braves, 2 of the best offenses in the MLB, but that's not the case. And that's something that I want to note with the Milwaukee Brewers now facing Rodriguez tonight. Rodriguez, you look at those numbers, he's given up 8 earned runs over his last 10 innings of work. So hopefully he's kind of on a little shaky of a trajectory that can continue when he faces the Brewers tonight. But there's lots to be excited about all around the Milwaukee Brewers, so you want to keep it right here on Brewers Digest because I got you all of the time with the newest news on the Milwaukee Brewers. It's an exciting time of the year, hoping that the Brewers can extend their winning streak to 3 straight games. But as always, let's go Brew Crew.